Will the real Ebenezer Scrooge please stand up? Nah, let me be for real. So, the timeless classic, A Christmas Carol, beloved by everyone, is trending once again because the holidays are upon us, but not necessarily for this year. So, right now our battle is Johnny Depp versus Willem Dafoe for who will star in the next iteration of A Christmas Carol. And it's not necessarily them fighting for the same movie. Now, let me get into it. So currently Johnny's linked with Paramount with T. West directing. And then on the other side, we have Willem, who's linked with Warner Bros. With Robert Eggers directing. And obviously, they're not necessarily battling each other for the same movie, but they are battling each other for the same role with their respective directors and studios, like I just said. Depp's film is slated for a November 2026 release date. Meanwhile, Dafoe's is rumored to be in 2027, but that's just because Eggers has so filled up his schedule with different 2026 release dates, so I'm going off a limb on that guess, but I think that's safe to say. So obviously it's a little confusing, and I would go out and say it's almost a little odd that there's two separate studios, mega studios, that are working on the same movie. Now, obviously it's a classic tale and it's been told many times in the past, and it'll be told even more times in the future. I understand that, but the kicker is the fact that it's getting released either in the same year or with only a 1-year separation. So that's odd in my opinion. But let's add one more layer to the madness. So it's rumored, but I think it's all but confirmed, that Paramount is attempting to buy Warner Bros., which would solve the double movie dilemma that we currently have. So let's do a quick side-by-side comparison of the two. So Eggers and Dafoe have already made 3 films together, that being The Lighthouse, Nosferatu, and The Northman. I've seen 2 of the 3, which was The Lighthouse and Nosferatu. Both were absolutely amazing. So I haven't seen The Northman, but I've looked up reviews. It seems like at the very least it was a mid-movie, but I'm sure it was probably in that 6, 7, 8 range of rankings if you're going on a best out of 10. So nothing crazy, but the other 2 were, home runs. So to have 3 very solid movies already with those 2, and now we're going to add a 4th one, which is a classic tale, I think it's a pretty solid recipe right there. Then let's take a look. I've not seen any T. West films. I know it's a lot of horror. I'm not the big horror guy, but it could be a new take, not necessarily a new take, but a different take on A Christmas Carol, giving a horror aspect to it. So I don't hate that idea. I think there's potential there. And then I've seen plenty of Depp's movies. I've seen pretty much all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Edward Scissorhands, what else does he have? Sleepy Hollow he was in, Donnie Brasco, and I'm sure I'm blanking on just some obvious ones as well, but Depp's goated. Like, I am a huge Johnny Depp fan. So if I'm just giving you my raw opinion, when I initially heard all of this news, my instinct was that I wanted Depp's to be better. But after closer consideration, I guess I gotta say that I believe that Eggers and Dafoe will produce a better product. I'm fans of all these guys. Like I just said, Johnny Depp's amazing. I don't know his director that well. And then on the other side, Willem Dafoe, this dude is an absolute living legend. I can't stress that enough. He goes decades back. I've seen plenty of different movies ranging from the Spider-Mans to Mississippi Burning, where he stars alongside Gene Hackman, and I've seen plenty more just throughout the decades. So, his resume speaks for himself. And Robert Eggers, even though he has a smaller resume, with just a little bit of content he's given us, it's been just phenomenal. And I'm not that dark movie type of guy, and I know predominantly Robert Eggers does produce stuff like that, and even I can appreciate that. So I know someone that is into that goriness absolutely loves a guy if I can enjoy him. So I want to say with that recipe of the 3 movies they already have, they could recreate this better than Depp and West could. But I want to be challenged. Like, I want to really make a tough decision and be like, which one do I prefer? And it creates a huge competitive battle if both of these studios are able to make this movie, and they really got to find the side characters and the director's take on each iteration of the past movies of it, it really could do a nice side-by-side comparison if we were to get these in back-to-back years. And I don't think I've stressed this enough, but I love the story of A Christmas Carol. I've seen numerous iterations of it, and it just never gets old. Like, I've seen the Disney cartoon one with Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck. I've seen that one. I think there was one with the Muppets that I saw. And then there was an animated one where Jim Carrey voiced Ebenezer Scrooge. That one's probably the most infamous, I would say. And then there's definitely a few different live action ones, maybe one Patrick Stewart, and then I'm probably blanking on a few more. So there's been so many of them, and they just never get old to me. That's how I feel. So I wouldn't mind having 2 more on the way because it's just more content, more stuff to consume on a topic that I already personally enjoy. But I have a feeling that we'll only get 1, assuming that Paramount will inevitably purchase Warner Bros. And if they do that, why not combine all the resources into one? I'm sure it's much more complicated with behind-the-scenes stuff, but if you were able to combine these 2 great minds and the great works of the side characters and the ideas, this could be a truly special version of A Christmas Carol. So let me know what you think. If both movies do come out, which one are you going to watch first? Drop a comment and please hit that sub button.